significance, to make it a date for the emergence of a new consciousness, then it will be that, exactly. And it's very interesting. This is one of the preliminary conversations that we actually have in the book, The Golden Motorcycle Gang, where Barbara Marx Hubbard and I are talking with Jack Canfield, and he actually has this same initial feeling. He says, well, what's so big deal about that date? You know, there's nothing special about that date. And then Barbara explains, well, there is and there isn't. You're right, from a purely scientific point of view, nothing dramatic will happen on that day. But because so many cultures, and the Mayan in particular, have selected that date as the end of this cycle, let's use that date and turn it into something really positive. And we know from studying other cultures throughout history that celebrations are important, rituals are important. So let's create a new ritual, a new celebration, and a new story, and start it on December 22nd, 2012. And I happen to agree with Barbara 100%. Having studied anthropology, many cultures throughout the world, I think that she's absolutely correct and that it's important. And the more people we can get to do something positive on that date. We just used the date 11/11/11 last Friday to hold a wonderful event at Agape International in Culver City. It was called Peace Link Live. And we had over 1,500 people and music acts and great speakers like Marianne Williamson and Don Miguel Ruiz and Lou Gossett Jr. And the energy was palpable. It was really everyone focusing on positive efforts for peace. What we're suggesting is 1 million convocations, 1 million parties, if you will, 1 million mini concerts like that, which can be interconnected in some cases through the internet, all to occur on December 22nd, 2012. That would involve over 1.5 billion people. That would be more than enough, I believe, for a tipping point to be reached where we really would have a change in the dynamics, where it really wouldn't be business as usual on December 23rd, 2012.
Well, we're going to do our part, Bill, because our little magazine here in Northern California, we reach about 25,000 people. And those 25,000 people, though, are a really dedicated demographic, because our magazine is pretty much a niche magazine. It's not just a general magazine, so the people that pick it up really pay attention. So we want to do our part at joining this, and I really appreciate you taking your time to do this interview. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would just say, don't minimize your own effort here. 25,000 people. If you got just 10% of them, or 250 people out of that group, to each organize a campaign that reached 100 people, all of a sudden we're talking about 250,000 people. And I think that is doable. And 250,000 people is a lot of people, because everybody has a sphere of influence. And so if your magazine can reach 25,000 people, and even a small percentage of those people take an active role, big change can happen. And we're all in this together. It's a mutual project, and no one is more important than anyone else. Even if somebody only has 2 people or 1 person in their network, that 1 or 2 person may be the right 1 or 2 people that then in turn reach another 1 or 2 people that reach another 1 or 2 people, and one of those people along the lines may have access to 1 million people. There's no knowing. And so don't ever think, oh, I'm too small, or my input isn't really going to be the difference maker. Well, when they talk about the straw that broke the camel's back, let's think about being the straw that transformed the world. And you don't know if you're that straw. So, I think everyone is important.
Yeah, and I think if we've learned any lessons in this past few decades, it's the fact that great changes has never come from the king or the emperor or the president. It's always come from the mind of a single individual reaching out to other individuals and creating enough impulse to bring about change.
Well, one of the things I'd like to say in particular about the Golden Motorcycle Gang is this is such a wonderful gift for your 25,000 subscribers who are already there in large part, to give to the people in their network who may not be there yet in terms of their awareness. Because what we did with the Golden Motorcycle Gang was create a story based on Jack Canfield's life that is interesting to anyone, no matter what your level of spiritual awareness is. It's a story, it's a Horatio Alger story of someone who started with very little and achieved greatness. And along the way, Jack gives his specific tips. What did he do to make Chicken Soup for the Soul the most successful series of all time? How did Jack transition from being in a dysfunctional family to ending up at Harvard. What did he do? So you learn along the way, and you learn a lot about the civil rights movement, which is very important to Jack, the human potential movement. But the whole point of the book is that this is a book that you can give to someone who may think that, you're a little bit fruits and nuts out there in California. We don't really believe all that stuff. Oh, well, read this book. This is from somebody who you'll be able to identify with. And then along the way, even if they don't have a transformation, they're going to enjoy the book, and they're going to be more open the next time you have a conversation about, well, remember that book, The Golden Motorcycle Gang? Guess what? I just learned this. I just learned that. And, it's incremental change that we're looking for.
Yeah, one of the things I liked about the Golden Motorcycle Gang book was the fact that it's a fictionalized account, so it sidesteps your critical, rational thinking. You can sort of let it in deeper because you're not constantly questioning the validity of the story, but you're sort of sucked into the mythology, the motif of the story.
Well, the other thing that also I like, because the concept, of course, is Jack's, and it's based on a true experience he had. But I just love the metaphor of the Golden Motorcycle Gang. I mean, we kind of think of motorcyclists as the antithesis of aware, conscious, helpful beings. We still have the old associations with the Hells Angels. But the point is, it's everybody. It's like you can be spiritual and you can enjoy driving a motorcycle. You can enjoy having a feast. You can enjoy, the everyday things of a good life, as you've been told, good life, good food, good partying, good times. It's not about sacrificing or being less than your full human self. It's just about having greater awareness when you're having a good time, and to be aware that it's fine to have as good a time as you want, but you have to be cognizant of your impact on other people, other life, and the planet itself.
I can feel your passion, Bill. Yeah, and it's great, because I've been looking forward to this interview. This is my joy.
Right.
Communicating with other people that are parts to this puzzle that we're really not even putting it together. It's coming together in this kind of mysterious way. And I remember the first time I touched on this was my wife and I, we used to go to Brazil and have these ayahuasca ceremonies. And we were down there once for about 3 or 4 months, and every week we would do an ayahuasca ceremony. And the first time you really leave your personality, leave your ego behind, and touch the mystery, the more you realize that this is a natural, organic thing that we're part of. And all we have to do really is get out of the way and tap into that source, that energy, and ride it, because it's going to do what it's going to do with or without us. I think that is the reality.
I absolutely agree, and I love your metaphor of riding. It's kind of like surfing. You can either go with the wave and have the time of your life, or you can try to hold the wave back and find yourself crushed up by it and not very happy. So I encourage everyone, wake up, get a sense that this wave is here, it's here now. Yeah, like any wave, there's going to be some disruptions along the way. You may even be, inconvenienced by the wave in certain ways. But if you get behind this wave, I can guarantee you're going to have the ride of your life, and you're going to experience joy in a way that it's impossible to even describe. I mean, that was really the takeaway for me. I was given some penicillin when I was 15 years old. We didn't know I was allergic to it. I was clinically dead. I don't know whether it was for a minute or even seconds, but time is different when you're not on the human time clock.
Right.
And I had such a deep experience of joy and bliss and knowing. And life is a miracle, it's a joy, and it's part of something that is eternal. And right now is probably one of the most exciting moments in the evolution, not just of planet Earth, but of our entire universe. And we're all part of that universe.
Right now. Just sitting here being present and not thinking of the next thing I'm going to say or ask or anything, but just being present in this moment has been the biggest gift I've been able to give myself. And I appreciate you sharing this moment with me, Bill.
Well, thank you. And I have to say, and this is one of the things that my good friend and client Eckhart Tolle writes about in Power of Now. There is nothing more joyous when you actually enter these And I'm not going to call them altered states because they are everyday states. But when you enter these states of higher awareness, there is nothing that gives you more joy than sharing them with others. And I have to tell you, just doing this interview with you has, elevated my own vibration and, put me in an even more joyful state than normal. So this is what's available to everyone out there. I do hope that the people that read the Gold Motorcycle Guide get just a little taste of this and are able to move their own lives in a direction that not only will give them greater joy, but will bring more joy to everyone in their relationships and to the world at large.
I'm sure it will, Bill. I'm sure it will. So, thank you very much for this time.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And we'll have to speak again sometime.
We will.
All right, Bill. Take care.